Nyla and Vickie promo. Really interesting. This one kind of came out of nowhere, right? Nyla lost recently at Full Gear, and we haven't really heard anything out of her or Shida since.
Right.
So both were on the show tonight. And I don't really know. I got a question. Where is this going? I know that we both recognize Vickie is a great pairing with Nyla. We think that Vickie's a phenomenal mic piece, and Nyla is a unique talent that needs to be showcased. So it's a great pairing. But where is this going? And obviously you saw there was a tie into the storyline with Brandy Rhodes. What's going on here?
I am wondering the same thing. And then they didn't address the whole thing that happened at Full Gear where, Vickie walked out on Nyla essentially and the big fight that they had at Full Gear. So,
right.
Like everything's back to normal. So, like we've talked about week after week, it's nice to have these other promos to build off the core division, which you need Nyla to build off of. And that 1-2 punch of Vickie and Nyla,
recognizable stars, right?
It is outstanding. And, if they just keep pushing that, they can do a promo every week, and just as long as they're staying fresh and relevant and, showing face, it's going to keep growing. But I'm not sure where they're going to go with it. It'll be interesting.
And I was really, in my first reaction to it, I was kind of questioning why this was on the show. And not to be overly critical, right? But it was such it ended up being more of a jam-packed show than I thought it was going to be. It was so
definitely
packed and so fast-paced. I kind of wondered where it was going. But as we talked about at the beginning of the show, maybe my mind's just kind of focused on that. But we talked about at the beginning of the show in the main event, the formation of groups, right? The formation of a wolf pack with Lance Archer and potentially the Death Triangle and Kingston's family. And then in the last, when we just talked about John Silver and the Dark Order offering Hangman Page a spot in the Dark Order. There was definitely talk and there was definitely some, I think, foreshadowing that Vickie is creating a women's group. And I think that maybe Jade, it might be in that group. I think that, there might be Jade, and can you imagine if Jade and Nyla are on a team with Vickie as manager, right? Could you have two stronger, more powerful women in that division? No. Go take a look at Jade's Instagram page and tell me you wouldn't get your butt kicked by her. Let's be real. Like
beast mode.
She is a freak, dude. Like, wow. You put her and Nyla together. I mean, that's like the Will Hobbs and Brian Cage of the women's division. It is
very, very good comparison.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, just they could do some damage to people, man. Like, I wouldn't want to be against them, right?
No,
so
absolutely
I think that if Vickie's headed in that direction, I think that it adds a little bit more push and punch to her promo where she's calling Brandy out. Okay, so Brandy's surrounding herself with Red Velvet, and who's like not to be mean to her, but like her win-loss record, I don't even know if she has a win right now. I mean, it's one of the worst in the company. Brandy is surrounding herself with people who, right? Like, and if Vickie's got Nyla on one shoulder and Jade on another, all of a sudden Vickie starts, when she's calling Brandy out for being a poor businesswoman, it starts to have a little bit more truth to it, right?
Absolutely.
So, to me, I found, now that like we're talking to SPD, you and I were spitballing on the show, right? I'm starting to come around to this, and I'm starting to get a little deep about it. So
very intriguing for sure.
I think that keep your eyes on it. Start watching them on social media. See if they start hinting at something like that. I really have a feeling we might be in for like maybe a team Vickie, and there could be some beatings in store.
I think it would be great.